Hello and welcome to Catholic Truths. Today we're going to be covering the councils of Carthage. Now we're not going to be covering every single council, nor are we going to go too in depth with these. It's just meant to be a broad and brief overview of the councils. You may also hear me refer to the term synod. That's just another word for council. If you're curious, Carthage is no longer an existent place. It's just ruins, but it is located in modern-day Tunisia. So our first council happened in 251. Now it dealt with how the lapsi should be handled. And the lapsi were Christians who had renounced their faith, but then wanted to return to the church. And they had renounced their faith mostly because of the persecutions, and they just didn't want to die. They also excommunicated the Novatian bishops. And the Novatian, he was an early anti-pope, and we will cover this in a future video. In between the years 255 and 256, we had 3 different synods, but they were all related to each other. The first 2 argued against heretical baptisms, and then the last clarified the first 2. These synods also dealt with a variety of unresolved issues regarding the restoration of the lapsi. And one of the big issues was that a lot of people started believing they should be rebaptized. And that led way to another group, which I'm about to discuss right here. In 345, we had the Orthodox bishops meet to express their gratitude for the effective official repression of the Donatists. The Donatists wanted the lapsi to be rebaptized. This is just this group, this is pretty much what their core belief was that made them different. Then in 397, we had what's referred, a lot of people consider it the most famous Council of Carthage, but it's the council that issued biblical canon, which was later reaffirmed by 2 other councils. In 411, we had an unofficial synod, and this one was commanded by Emperor Honorius. It led to the violent suppression of the Donatists. This man did not want the Donatists there at all, and that was the end result, pretty much. Then in 418, we had a council that dealt with the errors of Calistius, a disciple of Pelagius. Okay, those are some big names, and you're like, well, who is that? This council denounced the Pelagian doctrines. These people taught that the original sin did not taint human nature. In other words, the whole core of original sin and us being, inheriting original sin, that's not a thing. That's what they taught. They also taught that mortal will is capable of choosing good or evil without special divine aid. In other words, they didn't believe that God needed to intervene in our lives for us to distinguish between good and evil. However, one thing this council did do was it approved the teachings of St. Augustine of Hippo, who wasn't a saint at the time, but is now. We had 2 synods during the years of 1419 and 424. And both of these dealt with appeals to Rome. The Carthaginians didn't believe that they should have to have anyone come to Rome, or Rome send anyone to them to do certain issues, and Rome argued against this, and Pope Celestine I cited apostolic authority at this synod. In 484, a lot of people don't want to consider this a synod, but it's called the Vandal Synod of Carthage. This, again, is not an actual authentic or official council, but it did occur. It was called by the Vandal king Huneric. Vandal is not an insult. This is what his people were the Vandals. That's where we actually get that term today. Now, he wanted the bishops to convert to Arianism, which we've discussed before. Arianism denies the divinity of Christ. When they refused, they were either killed or exiled. And so we had a lot of emotional high and lows going on in Carthage over those few hundred years. That's all on the councils of Carthage. If you have any more want any more information, you can ask questions in the comments. You can easily Wikipedia this. This is where I got most of my information for this. As I said, this is meant to be just a brief overview. Next week, we'll be studying excommunication. Thanks for watching. Please click the subscribe button below. Follow me on Twitter at Catholic_Truths. Be sure to visit Armino Catholics, and all links required are in the description below. Thank you, and God bless. Summer colds are the worst.